The federal court ruling just made Logan's whole plan fall off even after he hired 5 freaking lawyers to sue Coffeezilla. Subscribe now because we have more influencer drama coming for you daily. This whole mess kicked off on August 18, 2021. Logan already hyped up his NFTs for months, like people were going to become millionaires overnight. And frankly, it did look like the next industrial revolution, but people didn't know their investments were going to vanish overnight. After Logan unveiled his own CryptoZoo NFT program, the marketing was huge, and the vibe was flashy. Expectations were through the roof from day one. Fans were told that this would be the next evolution in digital collectibles, which is something different and something game-changing. We already know that Logan had a thing for collecting Pokemon cards in this, and he seemed like he knew what he was doing. This would be a play-to-earn ecosystem where people could breed NFT animals, hatch eggs, and even make real money while having fun. It sounded straight out of fiction and profitable. However, to some people, it sounded too good to be true. And that's because it was. When Coffeezilla started publicly questioning the project, digging into the structure and platforming buyers who claimed that they lost money, some even reported losses of $15,000, $50,000, and even up to $500,000. The internet shifted quickly. Videos started circulating showing how frustrated investors were, explaining how the game that was promised never even materialized. The ecosystem didn't function like it was supposed to, and then they were left holding onto NFTs that didn't mean anything. Then came the lawsuit. Logan went after Coffeezilla quickly, accusing him of defamation for labeling this project a scam. This move alone turned the temperature up to 200 degrees. For a while, the lawsuit pushed Coffeezilla to pause publicly speaking about CryptoZoo, and the tone on social media changed. But Logan's reputation didn't repair itself. If anything, more people started questioning each other and themselves about whether they even want to be part of this game or not. The creators used an investigative YouTuber instead of addressing critics head-on, and people noticed that quickly. That's just how the internet works. Reports even showed that Logan brought in a heavy legal team, 5 lawyers working on the case, and that raised eyebrows quickly. Some fans started wondering why the focus seemed to be on the courtroom and protecting his image rather than making the users, investors, and fans understand what exactly went wrong. This seemed like he didn't care about investors' financial loss, but all he cared about was restoring his reputation. Then came October 29, 2025, the exact same day as Logan's wedding. There, the news broke out that a CryptoZoo-related class action lawsuit against Logan has been dismissed by a federal judge. Just like that, the case that was hanging over his head hit a wall. The official filing stated that the defendant Logan Paul's, motion to dismiss is granted, and 27 of the plaintiff's claims were dismissed. Logan's attorney, named Jeff, told TMZ that the district judge emphasized that no reasonable juror could find Logan fraudulent. That's strong courtroom language, and it instantly shifted the vibe around the case. Suddenly, what once looked like a legal cloud that was hanging over him turned into what supporters frame as total vindication. Logan posted celebrities' videos and even posted on his YouTube channel with headlines that screamed, "Victory," if you scroll. And most people scroll fast, which means that they had this idea that Logan was a good guy. But here's the part that most headlines didn't explain. 26 of the 27 claims were dismissed without prejudice, and the only one was dismissed with prejudice. The difference is huge. When something is dismissed with prejudice, it is done forever. In other words, that claim cannot even come back, but without it, the door stays open. Plaintiffs can revise their complaint, fix legal issues, and refile those claims, making the person go through the whole legal trouble again. So technically, 26 claims could return in an updated form. That wasn't exactly a knockout punch, but here's something that most people missed. A motion to dismiss doesn't mean that the court would declare someone innocent. It means that the judge ruled in favor of the state. It doesn't even mean that the judge rules those statements to be true or false. It just means that the complaint, as it was originally written, didn't meet the legal standard to go through this stage. It was about procedure, not a final verdict. But that's where things escalated the most. The plaintiffs didn't sit back quietly either. they came swinging with an amended version of the complaint. This updated filing addressed nearly every single issue that the judge pointed out. It was twice as long as the original one, and packed with additional reference material that would be almost unavoidable. One of Logan's core public defenses has been that responsibility lies within his CryptoZoo partners. He has said that he didn't make a single cent off the project. This statement has been central to why he is the good guy and the other investors were the bad guys. But the amended complaint challenged that directly. It shows that Logan actually resents this complaint, saying that he received $1.3 million from Egg NFT sales within the first month of the launch alone. If proven, this would seriously contradict that he didn't make a single cent. We all know about Paul brothers. They love exaggerating or under-exaggerating things based on their narrative. This has been the case throughout their YouTube career and their boxing or fighting career. Also, references are made to investor voice calls, where Logan allegedly described this project as highly entertaining and claimed even a developer's children would enjoy playing it. This kind of page paints a very confident picture of what was being built. However, according to the changed file, the game may not have existed in a fully playable form at the time when those statements were made, and there's more. The complaint also disputes Logan's claim about hiring a dozen artists to create unique animal hybrids. It shows us the picture that, instead of a fully custom creation, stock images were combined using basic editing techniques. If proven, that would also hurt his image a lot. And the whole thing doesn't stop there. The filing also alleges that Logan continued publicly promoting cryptos even after internal development stopped. It claims he declined to approve full completion because it was way too expensive, and, according to the complaint, profits had already been made, and the focus shifted toward maintaining the public perception rather than finishing the game itself. Throughout 2022, Logan continued saying that artists were working non-stop and that he wasn't giving up on this project. However, the plaintiffs argued that development already stopped during that period. If those claims gained traction in court, it would ruin Logan Paul's whole personality. You're watching a legal battle that could redefine people with power. Subscribe now because the next twist will shock you. Here is where things get even more complicated. The person who was facing the toughest road now isn't Logan. It's actually Coffeezilla. Logan's main argument was always clear. He called him a scammer who damaged his reputation, and according to Logan, Coffeezilla has ruined his project, and he just decided to turn it around. Until recently, Coffeezilla's strongest defense heavily leaned towards the CryptoZoo lawsuit itself. His reasoning was straightforward. If there was an active case alleging harm tied to the project, then describing it critically could fall under opinion or fair commentary. The existence of the lawsuit is acting like a shield, but now that Logan has been dismissed from that class action temporarily, that shield is also thin. Things got even messier during this period, when private messages between Logan and a friend surfaced. Those messages didn't look great. Logan wrote things like, "It's not worth coming at them," and that there is a price to pay. Public humiliation is always more effective. If that screenshot was true, this also paints a very different picture in the courtroom and outside the courtroom that could get Logan into a lot of trouble. On many other occasions, Logan said things like, "Just to make his life difficult, Zilla will pay one way or another. I'll make sure of it." Just imagine that someone is doing that while ignoring the reality around them. Critics also ran with that instantly. To them, it sounded less like someone defending their reputation and more like someone acting out of pure hatred. Those leaked messages weren't smooth. They were kind of received that could really help Coffeezilla in court, and they might still matter to the judge once the case gets messier. For Coffeezilla, the first comes the money. The exact number Logan is seeking hasn't even been revealed publicly, but in many defamation cases, damages can climb into the millions. Unlike Logan, Coffeezilla isn't sitting on influencer money or even prime drink revenue. A loss that big could still sting. Then comes his reputation, and that part might hurt the most. The internet can be quite brutal when someone loses a public legal battle. We've already seen the Carl Jobs defamation case against Billy Mitchell and social media turning it into a full-on spectacle, memes, mockery, and other things. Critics said that Carl may have misrepresented parts of his case, which fueled the backlash. Now, to be fair, many viewers believe that Coffeezilla has been careful with his reporting, and there is no clear sign that he intentionally misled his audience. Almost all of the things that he has said online are based on pure facts, and even the most impressive analysts have praised Coffeezilla for his reports. When it comes to Logan Paul, it started back in January 2020 as well, when Logan announced plans to refund a portion of losses to crypto buyers. He framed it as taking responsibility, doing the right thing, and stepping up when the other cryptos that investors wouldn't. But, as of now, there have not been any public confirmations that anyone got a payback. The refund website he previously linked to now reportedly links to somewhere else, which only adds more confusion and frustration. Investors who were told that relief was coming are still waiting for any kind of payment, and this silence speaks volumes. Go back to the CryptoZoo World website, where there is a whole portion about the CryptoZoo partial refund. You can see that the page is named Logan Paul Did It CryptoZoo Refund. However, if we scroll down a little bit and see the comments section, there have been several people saying that Logan never refunded them for their NFT eggs. A lot of people are cursing Logan Paul, while the website seems like it doesn't even work properly anymore. Needless to say, at the core, this isn't about one lawsuit or another crypto project. It's about the influence trust and what happens when internet fame meets real-world money. The courts are still sorting out all the legal details, but the courts of public opinion have been loud from day one, and it's never coming back. Logan may have scored a temporary victory. However, it might come down to him crashing into the shape of more evidence. Who do you think is right and who do you think is wrong? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with the case.